was at that turning point in my life as a 16-year-old kid where I was starting to do okay with my rugby. Not brilliant, but Sale Sharks had started, showing some signs of interest, and I was massively enjoying it, but I never really understood how to go about it in any other way, or didn't really think about it too much. And then, opportunities with scholarships or to stay on it. I was at Urmston Grammar School and continued doing my A-levels there. And it was through Sale Sharks that they offered this opportunity to, initially have a look around Myerscough College, and there was the ACE scheme, the Advanced Apprenticeship. And to be honest, it was almost too good an opportunity for me in the respect of pursuing a rugby career. And I can tell you now for a fact, I would not have made a professional rugby career had I not gone to Myerscough. I'm very, very grateful for the 2 years that were put in there through the coaching staff, through the lads that I met, through the teachers and the support and everything. It was my best chance at making it pro. And through that, I was able to want to play for Sale Sharks and have a 10, 11-year career as a rugby player. And I'm incredibly, incredibly thankful for everything at Myerscough. It was a fantastic couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of people that I've actually spoke to, old boys, say, and it seems to sort of be a recurring theme, the bond, the camaraderie, the friends for life sort of thing. Is that true for you as well?
Oh, massive. I almost have a phone, maybe once every other day, I have a phone call with Liam Yulek, who I met on day one at Myerscough College, September the 1st, whatever it might have been, and this big scary lad who's another rugby lad who's doing all right, and he's one of my best mates. He was he was a compere at my wedding. He's just a fantastic bloke. But that's, he epitomises it really. There's multiple people who I met through the college. Being away from home was a massive learning curve, and again, that's through my development to becoming a professional athlete. That being on your own, looking after your own timetable, looking after your own lifestyle, that was massively important for that development as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, important that, when you talk about, and I know we've had over the years a number of our students who are very apprehensive about coming to
just bear with me, Gough. There's a couple of dogs. We'll crop that bit. It's fine.
Don't worry. It's fine.
Go on, as you were saying.
Are you all good?
Good.
So yeah, the apprehension of leaving home to be thrust into an environment where it's boarding school, it's whatever you want to call it. There is a concern from a lot of players, a lot of students, who have come to Myerscough. What would you say to them to hopefully alleviate any worries?
For one, I can understand that. I get that. The traits in my personality. I was quite a quiet, introverted lad who was used to having my mum run upstairs with a couple of slices of toast before school, and it was, so the fact that I'd be looking after myself was a little bit daunting. And it was too good an opportunity to allow that to prevent me from going. And I think if any lad is considering his choices for next term and starting up for his college or A-levels, whatever it might be, I'd say don't allow that to deter you from having a go at it, because once you jump in two-footed and have a real good go at it and live with the lads, it's a fantastic learning experience, and you develop as an adult. You become so much more mature. Yeah, you have a laugh and a joke and probably do some very immature things, but off the back of the fun and laughter and games and everything else, you do become a man for it, and you leave as an 18-year-old gentleman who's come through the rugby academy. Not just, there's a whole handful of students elsewhere who would just continue living at parents' house, going to school. It creates very different characters who I think would go on to do very good things.
Yeah, again, the apprehension is usually overwhelmed by the fact that they're in a privileged position to, being at a rugby academy as Myerscough's sort of standing, and also, there is a cost. So, it's they've got to bear in mind that, they are spending the mum and dad's money, and they either, like it or lump it. But, some kids absolutely love it, and they'll come through it after a while. They'll be a bit concerned with things, and then eventually they will, it's an either sink or swim situation, really, I think, isn't it? Where we get.
Yeah, but I do think particularly with the rugby lads, you won't be the only one. There's going to be, gosh, I don't know what your intake is these days, but I remember when I was there might have been 20, 30 of us, and they're all in the exact same position as you. They all have that first day nerves. They all have that, am I going to be good enough at rugby? Is the rugby standard? Am I going to be, am I going to enjoy it? There's all these hundreds of little things running around your head. And the lad that you're sharing a room with will have those exact same things. And it might take a couple of days until you really break the ice with one another and get over those little barriers. But I think you say sink or swim, but I think I'd say the vast majority, it isn't for everyone, admittedly, but I would say the vast majority who have a go at it thoroughly enjoy it and get settled in pretty quick.
Yeah, we find that eventually they do see the benefit of what they're doing, and that bonding and that friendship and things all do shine through. So when you obviously went through Myerscough, was there any thought from you regarding HE going on to university, or was it straight sort of the opportunity arose to go straight with and work with Sale?
No, I was probably 50-50 right the way through. I was always very studious. I did very well in my GCSEs. So that was one thing where I was like, do I pursue A levels, or do I want to be having a look at this BTEC at Myerscough? And it was a bit of which way should I lean on this? But as I went through the college, and it gave, I couldn't get an understanding. I think it's UCAS points. It's a long time since I've discussed all this, but I think the UCAS points that I achieved, or I knew that I could achieve, and I did achieve, allowed me to go into hundreds of universities, and of which I went to. So as soon as I finished at Myerscough, I started at Salford University doing a finance and accounting degree. I was doing okay with it. It was the reason I had to drop out is through the rugby. It was about January, and there's a couple of injuries through the squad, and they said, "Look, we could do if you're coming in full time now." So unfortunately now, maybe I had to park that to one side, and I never actually have gone back to that, and I don't think it's something I will. But I had to then go full time with the rugby. So I don't know. I could have continued maybe, but then I wouldn't have had that opportunity and to play pro. And it's one of those. But what I would say is going to Myerscough College will not close any doors in terms of higher education. If anything, it opens up quite a few others.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we've had a number of kids who've all gone through on to Durham, to Bath, to Exeter, all the kind of top universities now, and still gone on to play professional rugby. We've had a number of lads who missed university and gone straight into the full-time environment, but then after a year gone back to university and doing part-time courses, which are more sort of local to Sale. So they're able to now, which is a really good thing that Sale are doing, is offering that dual opportunity to spend a lot of time at Sale, but in that free time, what are you going to do? So they're doing the shorter courses, if you like, at places like MMU. So that opportunity still stands, even if you don't do full time. But even again, looking at the university rugby now, it's really strong with the books. So you still get opportunities through there. So going back to your kind of full time at Sale, everything went absolutely spot on for you, did it?
It went quite well. So as I left Myerscough, I got full distinction profile, went to Salford Uni and made a start on my degree. A couple of injuries in the first team squad at Sale. I'd have been 18, 19, wouldn't I, at the time? But a couple of injuries. It might have been Ben Cohen at the time was struggling. He'd come in his latter end of his career. Mark Cueto was away with England for the Six Nations. So it just, all of a sudden, there just became a bit of a, two wingers out. It just gave me an opportunity to get training with the squad. And I remember like being in a full-time environment, playing, training every day. It was massive. I was petrified. There were some big players and big names who I watched on TV at the time, as a kid. But yeah, I took the opportunity with both hands really, and played right the way through. Did a full pre-season with them following that. And it was Mike Brewer was my coach at the time. Very thankful and grateful to him. He gave me my debut in that first year as a 19-year-old lad, Prem debut, first game of season, and bagged myself a try. So yeah, fantastic.
It's always nice to score on debut. And then you went on to score many tries and get some good success. I think I'm right in saying that England Saxons at the time was a target for you, and you were pushing towards England, full England.
Yeah, so I quite quickly racked up. I got to about 100 games about 23 years old, and I got to 100 appearances, and was playing quite regularly. I was scoring plenty of good tries, and I think it was. Again, looking back here, but maybe what year would it be? 2013, 14, something like this, maybe. There was one or two injuries, so there was a bit of an opening, and I went up with England Saxons. We went over to Scotland. I don't know if they even play that tournament anymore, but they used to kind of run a bit of a mini Six Nations B team kind of squad. So I got called up. Unfortunately, I didn't play. I was a reserve for the fixture. But that was my one little taste of international rugby. I got to sing the anthem and got all the stash, as the boys like.
Stash is important.
Yeah, but to be in that real ultra elite environment was massive, and a confidence boost as much of anything. You felt like, actually I'm pretty good at rugby here. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, Tom, I for one, think you should have been, at least pushing and playing England. I think some of the wingers out there were nowhere near as good as you, but that's my opinion. I'm not the coach, so I
think you might be as a former tutor and coach. I think you might be a little biased there, Gough.
Yeah, just a little, but from when you went on from Myerscough and the things that you did. So moving on from sort of Sale, you came to an end with Sale, and then you went headed down south.
Yeah, so I just had a couple of opportunities come up through my career to move, but I never really wanted to at the time. And like I said, I got to 100 appearances. Quickly added to that again, scored a couple more tries, and don't get me wrong, thoroughly enjoying myself. But I just got to that little stage in life where I was like, maybe just plateauing a little bit, and Sharks at the time didn't have the budget that they have today, and they were a bit of a happy to be sixth team. They were very, if you finish sixth, you've overachieved with the budget they were spending. So yeah, Leicester Tigers offered me a contract to go and play there for a couple of years, and a team who won the Premiership more times than anybody else, the most decorated European team. It was, I had a look around the training ground. It was Richard Cockrell and Aaron Major were the coaches, and another just opportunity that I just could not say no to. And signed my contract with them and played 2 years. I think we were all a little bit unlucky, that whole group of us really. So we got through our first season there and just got a real rough patch. I think we might have lost 6 on the bounce or 5 on the bounce, and they got rid of a line-out coach. They then got rid of a defence coach. January came round, they got rid of Richard Cockrell. So there was a lot of disruption just in that first year of mine. I played quite a bit. I probably played about 20 fixtures. So I was playing relatively regularly. We won the LV Cup. Scored the winner in that one. If you have a look on YouTube, and so things were going okay. And then the day after we won the LV Cup, or Anglo Welsh Cup, I should say, Aaron Major was sacked and removed from his post. Lots and lots of disruption and things that didn't really sit too well with, I'd say, the vast majority of the playing squad. Unfortunately, then I broke my leg. Probably about 2 weeks after we won the LV Anglo Welsh Cup. Lots of complications with the surgery. I had to have a second operation after there was a blood infection and the metal plate had come loose. So ultimately, I didn't get fit again for about maybe 9 months following. By which point, new coaching staff, new recruits. They brought in Johnny May. They brought in another Australian wing. They brought in a handful of players whilst I was injured. And just naturally, you just kind of fall off the radar. You're not in favour. That kind of, it was just ended a little bit, not sour, but a little bit disappointed with the way my time at Leicester finished, having had such a successful, first 9-12 months.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was overall a fantastic experience at Leicester. Yeah, brilliant club.
Yeah, I think you're right with, as you talk about the disruption. Once, if you're kind of off the radar a little bit, things are going on around you that you have no influence on, and you feel as though you are sort of on the edge of what's going on. Especially, rugby is brutal. Especially, if you're not winning, then you point at the head coach, and then the line-out coach, then the defence coach, then the attack coach, and then it's all changed. So yeah, it is brutal. It's exactly like that when you're trying to become a professional rugby player, I suppose, out of just a few, and you have kind of epitomised what happens over at Myerscough. You had a great opportunity and you took it, but you had some choices to make, and at the end of the day you made the right choices. And from what you're saying, I don't think you would look back and, if you were your 16-year-old self now, what advice would you give to yourself?
It's I think the advice to myself, and I think I was, but I think hard work almost always gets rewarded with success. And I think I was very hardworking. I was dedicated. I listened to my coaches' every word, and I just tried my hardest. I always tried. And no doubt, if you're trying really hard, you get results. You get enjoyment. If you're enjoying something, you're working hard, you're dedicated to it, you're probably going to have success. So maybe advice to myself or any 16-year-old lad, if you commit yourself and really have a go at it, and you'll probably be successful. Like, you just got to really, really go for it.
That is quality. That's a gem. That's what, hopefully some of our students who see this, and hopefully students who are wanting to come to Myerscough, use that as a really good mantra. I think it's a simple mantra. You work hard and you get the reward. So, so where does life lead you now? So from Leicester, you had a little trip across the channel.
Yeah, we had we got married at the end of my contract, and we were floating around that summer. We were kind of a bit and ahhing. We had offers in England in the Championship. We had a couple of offers. We had offers in America. We very nearly had an offer in Japan, but that didn't quite come through. And then, an opportunity in France in the Pro D2, team called Carcassonne, so they're right down the bottom corner near the beach. And just having had a bit of a naff season where I broke my leg and was out of favour, as I said, we thought, should we just go and, excuse me. So yeah, we just thought we'd just go and have a nice time in the south of France, really. A team called Carcassonne down the southwest corner, and it was fantastic. And southeast corner, I need to start again.
Nice. Sounds like the beaches were nice and the weather was nice. Sounded like you were you kind of probably the right thing for you as well.
Yeah, it was. It just kind of came at that right time, as I said. In that summer, we were just umming and ahhing about what we should do. And right in the southeast corner, Carcassonne, beautiful place, almost in between Toulouse and Perpignan. An opportunity just to hopefully play regularly and to have a nice balance of that life as drinking wine and eating cheese as well.
And did you learn much French?
Yeah, we both did. We kind of didn't really have a choice. All the rugby was in French, all your coaching, everything on game day naturally. The squad would have been at least 3/4 French. Everything's French speaking. So yeah, we had lessons. I think we had lessons at least once per week, which were paid for by the club. But you just get thrown into it, and I was really good friends with quite a handful of French lads who I still speak with now. So you just, over the course of a season of rugby, you do pick it up.
Good.
Forgotten most of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it does happen, doesn't it? If you don't kind of practice and keep that in the things, it's like skills, like rugby. You
it's like anything. Yeah.
You lose those skills. So from France back up north to back home.
Yeah. So as we came to the end of the season in France, my wife was pregnant at the time of our daughter, and as a 29-year-old, and I was just looking at the options, and I probably wasn't good enough for Premiership anymore with the standard that was at. A couple of offers in the Championship, but became a bit of I'd say maybe it's a bit of an unselfish decision that I thought I'd step away from rugby. Wasn't really enjoying it like I did when I was a young lad at Myerscough, and it had become a bit of a job, and to go and have a job that didn't pay necessarily that well, and it would be sacrificing the life of my family. It was time to settle down and come back to our roots of Manchester and enter the real world. I've been playing, I played last year semi-professionally with Sale FC. I've signed again for this year. But I would say any young lad who maybe doesn't make that step to pro, there's countless opportunities across the country in national leagues, and I've found a real sense of enjoyment with Sale FC that I've probably missed for about 3 or 4 seasons of rugby, and I can't thank the coaching staff and everyone at Sale FC for the opportunity enough. It was a brilliant year last year, albeit we didn't really have the success that we kind of deserved, but that's been a really good year so far, and just transitioning into the real world of work as well at the same time.
Yeah, so just keeping my eye on Sale FC and all the other clubs that I do, they seem to be putting a big push in, some good signings coming in, and maybe looking for a drive up towards the Championship. But you know what? Maybe a couple more years left in the tank yet, Tom. So I wouldn't be looking to hang the boots up.
No, I'm not. Like I said, I've got that enjoyment, and each weekend I'm more than happy to get up and really put my head in with the lads. So I'd like, my current head's saying I've got at least another 3-4 years at it, and perhaps 33 years old, 34. That's maybe a stretch, but we'll see how the body's feeling. But right now, touch wood, I've been fully fit for a good couple of years, and I'm really enjoying it. So why not?
Yeah, you know what? Go as long as you can. It would be my advice. You are a long time retired, and obviously you've done some sort of planning around doing a little bit of things outside rugby, which obviously involves a little bit of coaching as well, which would be really excited to when you got an opportunity to come up to Myerscough. Every time you've been up to, the boys have been absolutely mad for it. They've been loving it.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, Tom Brady's up doing a session on how to score a try in the corner, show them how to dive, and all that sort of thing. So those little skills that you come up and show with the guys, they do really take an awful lot from it, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you in the lockdown gone, and we're all back at college, and you get an opportunity to come and do some coaching. So kind of just looking at your shirt there with Butler's cheese, so my guess is that you're working and you're doing something else other than just playing rugby now.
Yeah, bit of a roller coaster, really. And I think, like many former pro athletes or rugby players, you come out of your game and you're not really 100% sure what you want to do. And even if you are, 6 months later, is it really what you wanted to do? So when I came back from France, initially went into the world of recruitment. Found out it wasn't for me. Took on lots of skills and learned an awful lot about myself as much as anything. Off the back of that, started working with a friend of mine, Don Barrow. So he started a electric car charge point company. So doing a little bit of work for that again, doing some more of a sales type role for him, business development, and again very grateful for the opportunity that he offered me to work there. And then relatively recently, kind of off the back of the coronavirus, really. So initially they just wanted a driver to help out with the deliveries of the cheeses and the bits and pieces, and then they've started a home delivery service which included fruits and vegetables and meats and everything else, and it's kind of evolved into working on the dairy itself. This week I've been literally making cheese, and then this afternoon I was taking it to somebody's workshop for selling. So it's an evolving role. I'm learning the ropes every day, but I'm just really enjoying it. A lovely team environment, which I think's key. I'm just finding my way through the real world now.
Yeah, we've all got to do it at some point, Tom. So you know what, it's been amazing to chat to you. We look forward to seeing you, hopefully when that lockdown down happens. Hopefully September, October, November time. You're still at Butlers, which isn't too far away from Myerscough. So, you know, call in, have a coffee anytime you like. You're always welcome. And, you know, I can't thank you enough for coming on tonight. I know time is precious with the family. So really appreciate the efforts, and we look forward to seeing you too. So thank you very much, Tom. And
no, my pleasure, Gough. Like you say, I'm just a stone's throw away up at Butler's Cheeses now. So when an opportunity comes once Corona's passed, I'd love to pop over, have a brew at least, maybe a pint in the stumble.